This conference will now be recorded.
Okay. Okay, so what we have done yesterday is, sorry, in the last session, is we have tried to replicate the accounting documents coming from asset accounting. We also understood what exactly is central payment, what are the restrictions if you are activating the central payments, which is a corresponding SAP note, and if required, if you want to activate the SAP central payment, if required, which SAP note to refer and how to create a incident. Okay, so incident and all that would be done by the basis, but you have the idea that it is a pilot note, and if it is required to be activated, there has to be the incident which needs to be created with SAP, and then only you will be able to use central payment functionality. What we will do today is we have still not seen what will happen to the and SD related transactions. So whenever I'm creating a purchase order, whenever I'm creating a sales order, and after the purchase order is created or the sales order is created, whatever are the subsequent documents, for example, good receipts, invoice receipts, how they will flow to your accounting centralized system, central finance system. So first transaction, I will show you the related postings, how they will come to the central finance. And then once we see the integrated scenarios, we will see the second type of object that we want to replicate. So till now we have seen only FI document, how it is replicated. We will try to post a secondary posting, secondary CO posting, and we will see whether that secondary CO posting is also getting replicated or not. Okay. So for this, let me log into the system. Okay, if you remember previously, we have created the related setup in our, I think, second or third session itself to see what would be the impact of and SD related transactions in central finance. So for that, let me go to the ECC system in our source system. Okay, and from the source system, we will try to trigger the postings. Right, so if I go to transaction ME21N to create a new purchase order, right now, instead of creating everything from scratch, if you remember, we already created a purchase order previously. I'll just copy it. Okay, so purchase order, and I think the purchase order that we created was for plant. Remember the plant code? Let me do this like, okay, I know one of the purchase order, maybe we can take it from there. So I'll go to the item overview and I want to copy the purchase order from the existing purchase order. So let's say this is my existing purchase order. Let me first see this purchase order in detail. Okay, so you can see this is a purchase order that we created previously. This is our vendor. Okay, and this is our material. This is our plant, CF01-NY, New York plant. And you can see this was the material that we created. So I want to create a same purchase order. I want to copy this purchase order and create a new one. So in that case, what I'll do is I'll click on the new purchase order, and here I will come and I will tell the system that please copy this purchase order. Let's press enter. You can see all the details are copied, the vendor, material, everything is copied. Let's try to click on save. Okay, so this purchase order number has been generated, which is ending with 761. Okay, so you know, as of now, the purchase order is just created, so there will not be any accounting impact, right? But the accounting impact will come into the picture when you proceed this purchase order, when you process this purchase order. So I'm processing this purchase order and doing the good receipt. Okay, so what is my purchase order number? This is my purchase order number ending with 1. Let's press enter. System is able to show me the details of this purchase order. I will enter the storage location. and I'll click on item OK. Right? Let's try to save it. This will generate the document as well as the accounting document. So if you see this document, let's go to display. Okay, so this is a document that we just now posted, and if you go to document info, you'll be able to see that the FI document has been created. What is the corresponding entry? Stock account debit to GRR account credit. Right now we want to see whether this FI document has been replicated to our central finance system or not. So we have nothing to do with the purchase order. We are not replicating the purchase order, but we are only replicating the accounting entries which are triggered from the purchasing side and the sales side. So the MIGO document, the Miro document, whatever documents we post further, all those documents should be replicated as the accounting documents in the central finance system. Right? So first thing what I'll do is, if I want to verify whether this document has been replicated or not, I will go to transaction FB03. Okay, in FB03, I'll click on the document list, CF03. Okay, this company code here is CF03, and I'll just enter the entry date. So just now I posted a document. Let's verify if it is already created here or not. So entry date is 13th of August 2020. Let's try to execute. You can see there is no corresponding item exists, which means it is stuck in between. Okay, so what is in between here? In between is nothing but the error interface, AIF interface, right? So for that, I have to go to this AIF monitor, right? If you go to AIF monitor, here you would be able to see if I want to restrict it to today's date. So from date to date, I will keep both as 13th of August. Okay, and here you can see it is not showing any document as of now. Let's see. Accounting document 2. It is not showing anything. So let's see what is the problem. Maybe what else I need to check out? Can you tell me
Source
what?
system, source system transaction table. Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. So you want to see the table in the source system. Oh, this is source or target? Yeah, this is target. And just give me a minute. This is disturbing. Just give me a minute. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, you are saying in the source table, I should go to the which table?
There is a transaction log table.
Transaction log table. So transaction transfer table, right? Which is that table?
Right. Transfer table.
So that table is CFIN underscore ACCHD and ACCIT. Right. So let's go to the IT itself. And let's enter the chart of account, which is CF01. Okay, and let's see what was our document number first, so that we can verify whether it has been created here or not. So I'll go to document FB03. The last document that we posted is 5 and ending with 3. So let's verify if this document is available in the transfer table or not.
No, it's not.
It is not available. What does it mean? What should I check next? So system is saying that this document is not related to the replication, or this company code itself is not related. This chart of account itself is not related to replication. When is that case? When the company code is not be replicated at all?
So the company code is not. So there is an initial configuration. The only configuration on the ECC side of it. I forgot that configuration.
Exactly. The only configuration on the source system is CFIN IMG. There we need to verify whether this company code, maybe someone has deactivated the initial load. Yes, exactly. You can see FICO document will be only posted when the initial load tick is on. If you remember last time also we faced the same issue, right? So someone has deactivated this, due to which system is not replicating this FICO document. So for replication of FICO document, your initial load must have been completed. right? This tick should be on. Then only system will assume that yes, your initial load is completed and you are doing the replication. So this is the reason why that document was not replicated. Okay, so now once, see, this is a test system, so this kind of issues are common, but otherwise if you see the practical system, this is one-time activity. This should not be again and again changed. So now again what I need to do is, because that document whatever we posted, the replication was not on, and that is the reason it will not get applicable here. Simply I will go to another purchase order. I will create another purchase order, and then I need to copy again.
So there is no way we can push it to this table. So
There are ways, but those are considered as initial load, because once your replication is active, then only the system will post. And this kind of issues you will not face in the production environment, because this access of CFIN IMG will not be given to each and everyone who can go and change or play with your company code.
okay.
Yeah. Okay, so let's try to save this purchase order. It is ending with 762. So I'll go to transaction Migo and try to do the good receipt for this particular purchase order. Okay, again, I will come to storage location and I'll say item okay. Let's try to save it. So this will generate the material document, and this will also generate a accounting document. So if I go to document info, sorry, I have not clicked on this. Yeah, document info, and here you'll be able to see the FI document, which is ending with 4. Let's see in the table first. I think the table is already on, or maybe I moved it. So let me open the table. So SE16N, and let's see whether this document is there in the transfer table or not. Sorry, for chart of account CF01. You can see 42 line items. Earlier there were 40 line items. So 2 line items are added. If you come down and see the document which is ending with 4, these are the 2 documents. These are the 2 line items of a same document which are posted just now. So which means now this document is relevant for replication. Okay, so you will go to the target system in the interface monitor, or maybe you can directly go to the display document and verify if there is any document created for this particular replication in the source system. If not, let's try to refresh this and see. See, you can see one document has been stuck in the error interface. Okay, and you can see it is in error. So let's try to double click here, and then you can go here and see what is the problem. Okay, so you know the problem. The problem is the GL accounts that are used for related postings. So the GL account 1001, and I think the second one is GL account 2002. Both of these GL accounts, they are not mapped to the target accounts. Okay, and where will you map that?
In the key mapping.
In the key mapping, exactly. Right, so you will go to the key mapping and you will map those documents, and once mapped, they will be pushed to the target system. Right, do you want me to do that, or you got the point? Because otherwise everything is same. So let me just, or maybe let's utilize our time in better rather than doing this mapping. So you already know how this mapping works. So once you do the mapping, you come here and you will be able to see this document has been posted. Because once it is in the error interface, you just need to solve those errors that you are getting here. Once you solve those errors, this document will be posted in your target system.
What about the Vikram corresponding other document, corresponding documents like a CO document or COPA document, those kind of a thing?
No, I'm coming to that. So if it is a FICO document, see, if it is a FICO document, in this case, there was no FICO document. Maybe the question that you are asking, let me try to show you one thing. So let me go to source. This is my source system, and let me try to post an accounting document. So I will go to FB50 or maybe F-02. So 13/8/2020. Okay, if I go to this is my expense account, and I am posting this to CF01-1 cost center, right? And here 50 is my bank account. So this will normally generate in ECC, this will generate two documents. One is FI and second is CO, right? Let's try to save it. This document has been posted. If I go to document display, okay, so if I go to environment and document environment, and if you go to accounting documents, you can see it is generating two documents. One is accounting and second is controlling. Now, if I see how this document is replicated in my central finance system, so if you go to central finance, again using transaction FB03, and I want to know the list of documents which are posted today itself, execute. You can see this is the document we just now posted. If you double click on this to open it, and if you go to environment, document environment, accounting documents, oh, what is this? FB03, enter. Let me try once again. So document environment, and then original document is this one itself. But if I go to accounting documents, no, there is something wrong here. But let me tell you what will happen. See, in SAP S/4HANA, similar to ECC, in ECC what is happening? In ECC, I'm able to see two separate documents, one FI and one CO. Now in SAP S/4HANA, this accounting and controlling have been merged. And that is the reason there will be a universal journal document number. Instead of FI document and CO document, although it will show the same thing, but this document number which would be generated here would be called as a universal journal, and it will get stored in AC-DOC. Previously, for accounting, there were separate tables. For CO, there were separate tables. But in S/4HANA, there is a common table AC-DOC, which is also called as a universal journal table. That universal journal number will be generated. For CO document, it will generate the statistical, right? It is the statistical number. Even if you activate COPA, so from the COPA point of view, there are two types of COPA: costing based, account based. For costing based COPA, whatever is created here, it will get created in the target system. Costing based COPA is untouched. Only thing is, if you are using costing based COPA in both the systems, then definitely you need to configure in the central finance system complete costing based COPA, right? But if you are using account based COPA in your target system, then again it will not generate a separate COPA document. It will be stored within the universal journal itself. So it will just generate the statistical document for COPA also.
Vikram, can we check AC-DOC table that two documents being generated?
In AC-DOC, it will not show you two documents. In AC-DOC, it will only show you one document because second one is statistical, but you will be able to see the number. Let me show you.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So this is ECC. Here it will not show. Let me go to, yes, S/4HANA Central Finance System, and let's see in AC-DOC. So in AC-DOC, if my company code is CF03 and the document number that we generated just now, I think it is so FB03. This is what is generated just now. And if you go to table display, okay, so this number, what you are able to see, this is called as universal journal document number. You can see here there are two ledgers. So
Yeah.
in my source system, there is only one ledger, but in my target system, you can see there are two ledgers. So that is also one of the benefit. Irrespective of how many accounting principles you are maintaining in your source system, in your target system, you can have additional number of accounting principles. Okay, that is secondary thing. Let's concentrate on why we came here. So this is called as a universal journal document number. This is not a FI document or a CO document. This is a universal journal document number. You can see here itself, it is showing that this is flows from the logical system, and in the logical system, the document number is this, which means in the source system, this was my document number. This was my combination of company code and fiscal year, right? And if you go to the right hand side, you would be able to see the controlling document starting with A, which is a statistical document number. So this is not the one that we posted just now, right? This is 7.8. So what is the document that we posted just now? This is ECC, sorry, this is still ECC. We need to go to, so let me go to in S4 FP03. This is what we posted just now. Let's see if it is correct. Yes, this is what we posted. So instead of looking at 11, we should look at 12. Execute. Okay, so same, you have this universal journal document number, and this is your source document. And if
I
you
see
go
the
to
coin is there. The controlling document is created. Yeah.
yes, you can see this CO internal transaction. Okay, so you can see cost center, you can see profit center, everything is getting captured in AC doc itself. Previously, this was getting captured in the CO tables, but now it is consolidated one. See, this is the document number that I'm talking about, statistical document number.
No, that's good.
Yeah. So no more separate documents for FI and CO. There will be the consolidated document of FI as well as CO, which is called as a universal journal document. Okay. So let me go to the first document that we posted, the document, which we are able to see in the error handling. So this one also, because this is a Migo document, in Migo normally it has nothing to do with the controlling, right? It is just a plain FI document which would be triggered into the central finance system. Same goes for sales order also. If you create a sales order and you do the delivery, at the time of delivery, system will generate the accounting document, and that accounting document will come and reside here in the error interface till the time you are not mapping those values. So it can be the mapping of GL to GL, it can be the mapping of if there is any additional field which you want to capture and replicate. So it will ask you all those mappings. Here on this, any questions? Do you want me to show this, solve this error and show? Let's try to solve this. So for that, I need to go to the key mapping. It is always better to remember this transaction codes. I am not good at remembering the transaction code, so I prefer to go through SPRO. But if you remember the transaction code, definitely you will be able to save time. So for the transaction code for this activity is mdg underscore km underscore maintain key mapping. So mdg key mapping maintenance. Okay, and here we will come to EPX client, and we need to maintain, sorry, this one should be general ledger account. So chart of account in our source system is CF01. GL account, I think, let's see what are the two GL accounts that we need to map. So interface monitor, number one is
2002.
Yeah, I think 2002 and 1001. These are the two GL accounts. Yes, 1001 and 2002. So 1001, company code CF01. Okay, now this has to be mapped. What is, first of all, what is 1001? I think it is a
Bank alert. No, not that.
101 is GRIR, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so first of all, we need to create two GLs. One for inventory and second for GRIR. Let's see if it is already created in our target system. Okay, but again, remember this two GL accounts which we are going to create, because we are not going to use the inventory management in the target system. These two GL accounts would be posted manually, not like the previous one, right? So what we need to do is we need to create 200. Let's see if it is already available. No, so 2002, I'm just adding another two zeros. So this is, let's say, my stock account. So balance sheet, and stock. Control data, I'm not going to tick on this indicator. Normally, if it is an inventory account, I tick on this. In this case, I'm just saying G00. Sorry, yeah, here we don't have G0, we have YB01. Okay, and save it. Same way, I need to create one more for GRIR. So 100100. Okay, so I'm just keeping it simple. Otherwise, whatever codings you have in your target system, you have to map accordingly. This is also going to be balance sheet. This is also going to be balance sheet, and this is GRIR. So these two accounts we need to map in our mapping table. So show and add row. Okay, so this is my development client, and this is where I will enter CF03. GL account would be which one I'm doing currently, 1001. So 100100 and CF03. CF03. Okay. Okay, save this same way, maintain it for another GL also. So again, I'll go to change, and this time I want 2002. Okay, and here, yeah, add row. Development client. CF03, 200200, and CF03. Okay, save it. Let's go back to the first one. I think there was some problem there. Let's verify if it is maintained correctly. Okay. So you can see this is wrongly mapped. So I have to change this. Change row. Oh, currently it is showing correctly. I don't know what is happening. Earlier it was showing 200 something. Okay, anyways, this is correct, right? So 1001 is assigned to 100100 and 2002 is assigned to 200200. So which means now if I go to error handling and try to restart this. Okay, let's try to do the refresh and see. Still there is an error. Now there are another errors. Valuation area not determined, although it is filled in the source system. Okay, does not exist or is not activated. So these are the errors related to. Let me just see what exactly is wrong. Valuation area, it is asking us to determine even material also. So this should not come normally. You wanted to display or process the data, however, the material does not.
Yeah, what to do with the materials number? It's a
So I think,
financial account. Yeah.
yeah, I think we need to clear this information. Let me see one thing. So there is a valuation area and there is a material. So let's go to mappings in the target system. Okay. So define the mapping actions for the mapping entities. Let's see if you are able to see the material and if you are able to see the valuations.
But first of all, Vikram, is this coming in a source document? If it's coming in a source document, then clearing makes sense.
No. This will definitely come in the source document, but in the target, it is the question whether you want to replicate the MM related data also, or you just want to replicate the accounting information.
Okay.
If you
At
just
the
want
line item level, you are saying at the line item level, the material number should be there.
right. If required, if you need that, then you have to create in the target system. If you don't need it, if you just need from the accounting point of view, then there is no material requirement.
Can we just pass through? I mean, map with the material field directly?
Yes, if you create a material in the target system, you would be able to map, but that
So
will be like
I don't want to create the material. I want to just pass through the material number to the material number field at the line item level on the financial document.
What do you mean by pass through?
I mean, take it as is. So like a text.
No. It will not take as a text, because if you are entering the material number field in the target system, that material number would be verified whether it exists in the target system or not. It is not a text field. It is actual
Right.
material number field.
At the financial account line item level?
No, let me tell you what. Let me.
Did we lose you? Vikram, are you there? Can you guys hear us? I mean, it's only Vikram or my side? Vikram, we cannot hear you.
Hello.
Yes, Vikram, I can hear you now.
Yeah, sorry. There was some disconnection. Yeah, so I'm just trying to show you material number. Are you able to see the material number?
Yeah. MAT. You can position it and then we'll search it. MAT.
But we don't know the code. Okay, let's
Yeah,
do one.
MTRNL something. MAT.
That may not be
Yeah.
necessarily the same code.
Oh, they changed it maybe.
Yeah, because there are some other codes also.
Got it.
So let's go to the material ID. You can see this.
Right.
So this
Right.
material ID, I'll go to the action. Okay, this is the reason why, because if it is not maintained, by default system considers keep data, right? And it is trying to keep the data. It is trying to see the same material number in the target system also. But if I tell the system that I don't want to replicate material information, I want to clear that data. Okay, which means that field will be blank, right? Let's try to see now in the error interface. If I try to restart, at least our material field should be gone. Then we will talk about the valuation area. So let's say restart. Yes, and let's say refresh. Okay, now you can see that material information is gone. Now system is asking us plant, it is asking us valuation area. So all these things we need to maintain from here. We need to tell the system which fields are important, which fields we need to migrate, which fields we don't need to migrate. Normally, when we are implementing central finance, we should try to restrict it to the financial information. So plant information, valuation area, these are all required from the logistics point of view. So let's go with the plant also. I think it will ask a lot of information. Even it will ask you movement type. So that is the reason this is a one-time activity that you need to carry out very clearly what needs to be replicated and what doesn't needs to be replicated. So plant ID, again, by default, it is considering as keep data. That is the reason it is asking that information. So this one would be also clear data. Let's do it for the valuation area also. Valuation, is it allowing control F? No.
It should be the plant, right? The plant level.
No, valuation area can be plant or it can be the company code. So normally for the manufacturing companies, we keep valuation area as plant. But sometimes it is by like SAP allows valuation area as company code also. So where I'm able to see the valuation area.
No. Keep going.
This one, I think this is valuation type.
Yeah, it's not.
The
Maybe.
question is it valuation area or type?
I think was it.
Valuation area. Valuation area.
Yeah, keep going. Yeah, this one.
It is not showing here. Valuation type is different thing, so that should not come.
Do you have an error for the plant as well, or are you just doing it by? I didn't see the plant.
Plant is already gone. Plant we already assigned, so plant error should go now.
Let's see if any other area.
Yes, so restart and refresh. Yeah, now we are only left with valuation area, but I'm 100% sure after valuation area also there are a lot of fields like purchasing group, purchasing organization, movement type. It will ask you a lot of things because that is one time setup. You do it, going forward it will not ask you this information.
But
So
the problem with Vikram is,
yeah,
we are syncing the financial document where the source system is a movement type. Financial document should not have that, right, in the source system either. Purchase org should not be there either. I don't know why valuation area is there. In finance document it is none.
yes, valuation area might be required in the source document itself. So maybe if you see the source document.
Yeah. Can we check the source document for a second?
Yes. Which is our source document. So there is a lot of confusion. This is not, so it was 500 something, or maybe I can go to document list and entry date. This is our source document 41.
Yeah, the last one.
Okay, and if you see this in detail,
right. So there's none. There's a purchase document number.
Purchase document number is PO number.
Right.
Right. So even I think those things also will come, and we need to tell the system to clear the data. Let's do one thing.
Let's move
Otherwise,
forward.
otherwise we will waste our time in solving this itself. Let me take it offline, and I will make a note of what errors I'm getting and what to maintain. Okay. Otherwise, this single document itself will take our whole session today.
Okay. But this is a good learning curve. I mean, it's not a waste. In my understanding, maybe some other people have other opinion.
It
But
is
this is
definitely.
something, yeah.
Yes, it is definitely not the waste, but ultimately the treatment is same. So whatever values you are getting here, you just need to go to the mapping entities and you need to tell whether it is relevant to your business or not. If it is relevant, you have to provide the mapping. Obviously, mapping you can only provide once you create that in the target system also. So it cannot be like a, as you said, it cannot be the text field that, okay, I don't want to maintain in the target system, but I just want to use it as a text. That I think would not be supported. If it is required, it has to be created first in the target system and then only it will be replicated. Okay. Let's see if it is giving some hint. No data link is determined, navigation is not possible. No, let me check and come back to you on this.
SAP just keep us our job secure, to be very honest.
Right.
I like the description.
Okay. Now what I'll do is I will show you one new transaction. New transaction in the sense we are seeing the replication of FICO documents till now. What if I want to replicate the secondary posting, secondary CO posting? Okay, so for example, if I go to my source system, like source, yeah, this is my source system BPX,
Hello,
and
Vikram.
yes,
Yeah, actually, I have a question here.
yeah,
So far, we have seen that the company code in the source system and the target system have a similar currency. INR. We are maintaining INR for both the source and target. What will happen if the source will have a different currency and target will have a different? And I want to add more complexity in this. Let's say in source system, because the exchange rate is always country specific. Let's say target system is in US dollar and source is in INR, and the currency exchange rate that we maintained in source system is different than INR to USD, and in the target it's different also. And then what the things when the document will be replicated, what exchange rate it will be seeing it from the target system or from the source system. And if the differences arises because of the exchange rate, how we gonna take a look? That is my question.
I don't think such scenarios are, because this is kind of see, you are saying my source system is INR and I want to replicate in the target system as a USD. I don't think this kind
Yeah,
of scenario is supported. There
because
is one
my corporate group is in Europe, right? So their local currency is euro, not the
no,
INR.
no. In that case, Adam, you have to create a second currency. Your first currency cannot be different. If your corporate group is in euro, then you have to create a second currency as euro. You cannot change the first currency. Your first currency is the legal entity currency. Your legal entity in the source system and target system cannot be different, right?
But Vikram, legal currency in my target system is euro. Here is INR. That is
No, no,
that
no.
it was
About
happening.
no, no. Think practically, Adam. When this scenario will come, you are doing the legal entity replication. Let's see. We are saying source to target replication. We are not saying that my Indian legal entity, I will transfer the values to my US entity. That we are not doing. We are having the entities as same. So let's take an example. If I have an entity in India which is operating in INR, I want to use this, whatever transactions are done in India, I want to replicate in the central finance system. But obviously, in my central finance system also, my legal entity definition will not change. My legal entity will remain in India. My legal entity will report in the currency which is required from the legal point of view. In addition, as you said, let's say in my source system, I am having a currency in INR, and in my target system, I have an additional requirement of reporting in USD also. So my main currency will remain INR, and I will add a second currency as USD in my target system directly, even if it is not available in my source system. So what will happen is, whenever a transaction is replicated from source to target, in my target system, in addition to the INR value, system will automatically calculate the USD value also based on the exchange rate which is maintained in the target system.
In the target system.
Yes. For the second currency, first currency will remain same. Whatever values are replicated, it would be same. In the second currency, USD values will be calculated based on the exchange rate which is maintained in the target system, which is a common behavior, right?
But what will happen if the INR to USD exchange rate in both the companies are different? That can
Sorry,
be
what?
possible.
Sorry, you are saying, okay, you are saying in my source system, let me put it in Excel so that everybody is clear with what is the question. Is it not allowing Excel at all? Okay, so let's say this is my source and this is my target. Now you are saying in source, how many currencies do you have? Just one, INR?
Yeah, and USD also.
Okay, you are having USD also, which means you are having two currencies, INR as well as USD, right? In target also you want to capture same, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so in this particular case, the values, the currency values from INR to USD would be replicated as it is. It will not consider the exchange rate. It will consider whatever values are available in USD here, it will be replicated.
Right. It will be as is, from local to the local amount, and then the target to the target, or the document to the document, and local to the local.
Exactly. Otherwise, it will create the reconciliation issues.
Right.
Otherwise,
there will be a discrepancy in the exchange rate. Maybe source system has some other exchange rate. This one has some other exchange rate.
right.
Vikram, if we are using the central payments, right, and then in euro, like USD could be a different value, right, and in source it could be a different. So it has to convert to the target exchange rate currency, right? If you're gonna keep the same, then doesn't it create a confusion?
See. First of all, which replication are you talking about? Let's talk about invoice. See the entire scenario, you'll be able to capture it. If you are replicating the invoice, let's say this invoice is 7,000 INR, which is nothing but 100 USD. Am I right? Let's assume rate is 70. It will capture the same amount as it is when it is replicated. Okay, now question is, where are you making the payment?
Let's say I'm making the payment in target.
You are making the payment in the target using the central payment system. Now, if you are doing that, there is no question of difference because that will never come back here.
It will be cleared out, right?
It will be technically cleared. As soon as you activate central payment, this will be technically cleared. So there is no question of discrepancy because payment will be only made here. Right? Let's assume you are making the payment of 7,500 because the rate has been increased to 75. Okay, so in this particular case, whatever is the difference, which is 500, this would be booked as a loss in this system itself. It has nothing to do with this system.
Okay.
right? On the other hand, let's assume you are making the payment, you are not using central payment. Let's assume you are not using the central payment. So while you make the payment in the source system, whatever values you enter here, okay, it will replicate it as it is. So there is no confusion of reconciliation. It is just replicating. It is not considering the target rate.
But Vikram, if I'm actually, my balance sheet is consolidated at the target system, then I have to convert all the this local currency of the source system to the target company code currency, right? Which is
No,
my
no.
so
See,
in
one,
that I have to convert this USD in my uh, target currency, like target company code currency exchange rate. Isn't it?
no, see, if that is your requirement, na, then see this, what two currencies you are using here, these two currencies you are replicating as it is. But if you feel that there is a group currency requirement which should work as per my target system setup, then you may need to create an additional third currency here as a group currency, which will not replicate the data, but it will perform the exchange rate based on the target system itself. So in short, you have to add the third currency here, which is not getting replicated, but it is getting populated as per the exchange rate maintained in the target system.
Okay.
Right? So this will become your group currency. This will never become your group currency because this is just as it is. Whatever values you are posting here, it is replicating here. Right? So it totally depends how you want to use the scenario. If you are just doing for the replication purpose, no exchange rates will be considered here. But if you are adding a third one, which is not getting populated, and you can tell use exchange rate type M in the target system to calculate these values.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Vikram, other thing is that how this is stock revaluation document will work. Like if we are doing any stock revaluation in source system,
Mm-hmm.
and
So
then
yeah, it would be also same. See, if you have the stock 1,000 quantity and currently it is valuated at 100, right? Now, due to some reason, you want to reevaluate it at 110. Okay, so this will become, this is a quantity, or let's say this is a quantity. So this will become 1100, right? So what would be the accounting impact in the source system? There will be inventory account debit to inventory revaluation account credit, right? Same posting will be replicated in the target system. Target system doesn't have to do anything with what material has been evaluated and all. Whatever accounting impact you have here, it would be replicated in the target system.
okay.
Yeah.
But that entry will always reverse on the first day of the next month, right?
Even here also, even in the target system also, it will get reversed.
Okay, that will be reversed in target system as well.
Yes, yes. Whatever you are, see, accounting entries, whatever you are creating in the source, if you are creating one entry today and it would be reversed on the next day, same thing will happen in the target also.
Okay.
Yeah.
I need to see that.
Okay. Now, yeah. Any other question, Adam, before we proceed?
Actually, I posted two questions to you as well because I was wondering that I couldn't make it today.
Okay.
That I think if you want to address today, then it's okay. If you wanna, you are covering up in future classes, then also okay. Like
No
how,
problem.
yeah, this one actually balance carry forward, like all the balance items.
Mm-hmm.
How we didn't see any example of it, right? How this gonna work in the central
Yes.
finance.
Yes, Adam. So that is, I think, the last topic that we are going to cover.
Mhm.
The period end activities. What period end activities you need to do in the source,
Okay,
and
then.
what activities you need to do in the target. Balance carry forward is part of the period end activity. We will discuss.
Okay. And then another thing is the recurring entries.
Recurring entries is also period end. So
Okay.
recurring entries, again, it is up to the customer whether they want to post those recurring entries from source.
Mhm.
So if you are doing in source, there is no question. It will automatically get replicated in the target.
Okay.
But only thing is, if you are doing it in the target, then you cannot expect the reconciliation with source.
Okay.
Not only the recurring, whatever other transactions. For example, you carry out foreign currency valuation.
Yeah.
You carry out balance carry forward, as you said. So we will do one thing. We will talk about all the period activities which are to be done in the source, which are to be done in the target, and what are the positives and drawbacks of each scenario.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay. Okay, so now I will just show you one more replication object which is related to controlling documents. Okay, so we posted several FI documents and we have seen that they are getting replicated in our target system. Now let's try to post a secondary CO posting. Okay, so let's assume just now we posted one document, right? Just now we have posted document ending with 12. What is this document? This document, sorry, this is target. It is a big confusion. Source versus target. This is my source. So if I go to FB03 and my document number was this one. Yeah, so refreshment expenses. I debited all these expenses to cost center CF01-1. Later on, I realized that out of this 1000, 500 should go to cost center 1 and 500 go to cost center 2. And I don't want to change my existing financial accounting posting. I want to do these adjustments into the secondary controlling postings. So in that case, what I'll do, I'll go to SPA, sorry, I'll go to accounting, controlling, cost center accounting, actual postings, and manual repostings of cost or manual repostings of revenue. So based on whatever way you want to treat it. So maybe for example, I'm going with this one. Okay, this is first option where system will, sorry, what was the problem? Controlling area. So CF01. Okay, here system will create a secondary posting based on the document number which you want to rectify. But if you don't want to use this, I'll keep it simple. Let's go to the manual repost of cost, which is KB11N, which is most frequently used transaction to make the posting adjustments from one cost center to another cost center. So let's assume I want to transfer the cost from CF01-1. Cost element which I used was 4000 and the amount that I need to transfer is 500 to the new cost center which is CF01-2. Okay, let's try to save it. So this is a secondary CO document number which is posted, right? This is a document number which we have posted in the source system. Now, if I want to see whether this document is replicated into the target system or not, what I need to do is I need to go to my target system, okay, which is this one, I think. No. Maybe first let's go to the target system in the error interface. So I'll go to the error interface. Okay, and I'll restrict again this to today's date, which is 10th of August. Okay, and you can see there are 3 documents overall, 2 accounting documents, and you can see 1 controlling document. Okay, let's double click this, open it, and you can see there is a controlling document number which is trying to be posted and it is waiting for assign the number range to the business transaction RKU1. Okay, so in the target system, we have still not defined the controlling number ranges. What is the transaction code for controlling documents?
K and K.
Right. So K and K, I will copy this from 0001 to our controlling area, which is CF03 in case of target system. Controlling area, it is saying 0001 does not exist. Okay, so let's see which is the standard. Let's copy from 1000 if possible. Otherwise, I have to create one by one. Was copied. Okay, let's see. CF03. Let's go to the intervals. There is only one number. Okay, fine. Let's try to see the groups.
You can copy from 1710 or something, I think.
Yes, we can. Let's see if it is copied. Otherwise, so COIN is copied. You can see it is taking the numbers from here. So I think now it will work. Let's try. In the error interface, try to restart. Okay, and refresh. No, it is still showing the same thing. Assign a number range to the business transaction. Okay, this is RKU1, not the COI. RKU. So RKU1.
Go down.
Yeah, RKU1. This is the one, and I need to assign. I think in the display mode. That is the reason it is change. Yeah. So Control F, RKU1, and click on the assignment. So this is the one. Let's try to save it. Okay, so restart. Yes. Refresh, and it is gone, right? Which means it is posted because I'm using display only errors. Now display only messages. You can see it is green. So which means this document has been posted. You can see this flag, which means successful. So management accounting document 1 has been created. Financial accounting document, this is for the reconciliation purpose. If you remember, normally whenever you create a controlling document, the real-time reconciliation makes sure that it is always telling with FI. So even it is creating a financial accounting document and some background noise for okay, so this document has been created. Let's go and see document number. Let me okay, so let's see this document number. I will simply go to FB03. Okay, and let's see the document list because it will also create a universal journal document. So entry date, this one, execute. Okay, you can see this is a document just now created. Okay, source system it is showing, sender company code and sender document number it is not showing because this is not a FI document. Okay, but we will be able to see. So let's double click on this. You can see 500 has been transferred from, you can see the cost centers are different. Why? Because we have mapped the cost centers differently in the target system. Our CF01-1 is mapped to laptop ADM, while CF01-2 is created as it is in the target system. So whatever postings we made in our source system, it is getting replicated as the universal journal posting. This is not only the FI document. As I told you, this is a universal journal document which is getting posted in the target system also. Clear on this? How the controlling documents are also replicated. You can see in ECC there was no CO document type. There was no document type CO. In my finance Delta training, I think we covered this, that this document type CO is a new document type which is only relevant to controlling documents. Right, so whatever secondary postings you make in your source system, that would be created as a universal journal document in the target system with document type CO. Okay, any questions? Are you able to hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So just wanted Yeah, sorry. Yeah, just wanted to show you how this replication works, just to remind you, because replication part we are almost over. We are just left with the cost object replication. And I think that is showing some error, but I will try to explain you how exactly that also works. But before that, let me revise how these replications work from the technical point of view. Although, as I told you, in the real-time project, also in this system also, you should just verify it, everything is fine, but should not touch this. This is the transaction code, LTRC. It will work in your source system because your SLT is installed in the source system in this particular server. But in your client system, you may find that SLT is as a separate instance, or it is deployed on target or on source, same as what is here. So LTRC. So here you need to create a migration object, which would be created by your technical team. So this is a migration object which is created here, which is called as SLT_cfin. You can provide your own name. That is not a problem. Only thing is the scenario must be central finance. If you open this, this is where you define what are the different replication and initial load settings. See, there are only two types of transfer of data. One is initial load, which needs to be done before you start doing the real-time replication, and second is real-time replication, which you only start once your initial load activity has been completed, right? So for these are the three type of objects. One is cost object, second is accounting document, and third is CO document. So this two we have seen. This we have seen many documents. This we just posted one document. Okay, so these are the logging tables you can see. Okay, so anytime if you create a accounting document, okay, in your source system, in addition to the transfer table, these are the logging tables which will hold the data. What is the difference? This logging tables will hold the data only till the time it is not replicated. Logging tables are just kind of, you can say, what is pending. All those pending documents which are still not transferred will be created in the logging tables, right? Once the documents are replicated to the central finance, these tables will become blank. Okay, these tables will not hold any values once all the documents are replicated to the central finance. So at any point of time, if you remember, there was a question earlier, I think Farooq itself asked that question, that what if my target system is down? I have posted some documents in the source system, but my target system is down. So what will happen? That data will go and reside in the logging tables. And as soon as your target system is up, automatically from logging table, data will be pushed to the central finance system. So you can see these are my logging tables. This will be in the source system. This is what target, sorry. This is source. So you'll be able to see this table in the source system. Okay, not the full data. It is just the technical ID given to each and every document, and just to verify whether it has been replicated or not. So I can see there are few documents which are waiting. Maybe these are related to those company codes which are not activated properly. And that is the reason they will remain in the logging table till the time they are not pushed to the target tables. They are not pushed to the central finance table. Okay, so same way you can see ending with 95, then ending with 96 is your cost object table. You can see here the cost objects which are not replicated. I will show you one scenario of cost objects. We have still not seen it. And third one is for the controlling documents, which is COPK. So here you will be able to see only those documents which are posted in source system, which needs to be triggered to the target system because of some reason they are stuck in between. So this table will only show you those documents which are stuck in between.
So Vikram, can we go back to the first table for a second?
Yeah.
So my question is, you're saying those are stuck over there because the company or configuration is not complete on the source system.
Either in the
Nothing to
source
do
or in
with
the target. The source system configuration is complete, and that is the reason they are coming in the logging table.
exactly.
But they are not able to find the corresponding target.
But
Or maybe
that should be stuck in the AIF, not here, right?
no. AIF will only show you those transactions which are already cleared from here.
But
See,
then
there are
why it's stuck over there? Because I'm a little confused here. So trying to understand that concept.
okay, let me tell you. Number one, whenever you post any accounting document in the source system, it will first come in the logging table. From logging table, it will try to push to the target system. But if there is any mapping related error in the target system, then it will go and stuck in AIF. Only mapping related errors. Okay. If there are any other technical errors which are not related to mapping, then they will remain here itself. So these documents are not able to push to the target system at all. If they are pushed to the target system, if the mapping is correct, then it will be creating as an accounting document. So let me give you the path. So number one is document creation in the source system. Number two, it will go in the logging table. Number three, if there are any mapping related errors, it will be shown in AIF. If no errors, target document will be created. Okay, but here in the logging table, if there is any error in technical interface itself, data will be stored here. So logging table will only hold the data because of any technical reason if that data is not able to push to the target system. If the data is already pushed to the target system and if there is any mapping error, then it will reside in AIF. But even before AIF, there is a logging table. As we discussed, it can be due to the power failure. It can happen because of the interface which is created between the two systems is not proper. So according to my knowledge, why we are able to see the data in the logging table, because this is an old data which was created earlier and there were technical issues during that time and they are not automatically replicated also. So this type of error, there is nothing else. You need to contact your technical guys. You need to tell them there are some entries waiting in the logging table. Can you tell me what is the issue? There is no functional thing that you can do. But if you are able to see the errors here, then technical person will not be able to help you. He will tell you, I don't know, it is an error related to mapping. I don't know what are the mappings. You have to maintain it.
That makes sense. Thank you.
Yeah. So just remember, there are two tables. One is logging table and there is a transfer table also. Maybe I will write here. Transfer table is not temporary. Transfer table stores the data even if it is replicated to target. Okay, so even if the documents that we posted just now, if I go to my target, sorry, if I go to my ACC_IT table, it will still show me the data. So that data is not temporary. That is not going to be immediately vanished, but it will remain for some time. How much time that you define in, if you remember in CIFIN IMG, there is a, let me show you that also. I think this is already open, so we can look at this, and this one we will use for CIFIN IMG. This is also open, no problem. Yes. So you can see this periods. This is where you tell the system for how many months you want to store the data in the transfer table. Okay, this is for the technical reason. Even I don't see any reason to keep the data for 12 months unnecessarily. Okay, but this is recommended by SAP that this should be 12. For 12 months, the data will remain in the transfer tables.
Who make these decisions on the project?
See, normally we go with the standard based practices. And normally if you are going for central finance implementation, most of the time, you will be working with the SAP consultants. So they will be doing these recommendations and you have to like take the decision. It is not necessary that whatever they are saying you have to follow, but they will be just giving you the recommendations and it is up to you whether you want to follow that or you want to have some other things in your mind. According to SAP, this should be 12 months. If you see most of the standard documents, SAP says that this transfer table should hold the data for 12 months. So this is my transfer table, right? We understood what are our transfer tables. So here you will be still be able to see the data. See, it is still showing you 42 entries, 44, even we posted new ones also. So even if the documents are already replicated to my central finance system, they are still showing you the data. And I understand this is unnecessary data load to the database, but maybe there is some technical reason due to which SAP wants to store this data in the background. Okay, maybe because the product is new, just to mitigate the risk, the data is getting stored here, but going forward, it can come down from 12 to 4 or from 4 to 1 in the coming years. Okay, let's again go to the replication server. So these are my logging tables. This is where you will be able to see the status, what exactly is the status currently. So whether you can see this is replication is already active, COBK replication is also already active, which means as soon as you post a document, if your company code is relevant to real-time replication, it will work. Okay, if I want to stop the replication due to some reason, although as I told you, we should not touch this at all. This is completely technical, but just I don't want you to struggle in the project by just coming here, and if you are not able to understand this, it will create a lot of problems. So you should understand what exactly is this and how it is taken care, but you should not try to do it on your own. So for example, if I want to stop this, I don't want to do this replication temporarily, or maybe you can say permanently, I don't want to replicate my controlling documents. So you can come here in the data provisioning tab, enter your table here. So in our case, it is COBK, and these are the different options. So start load means when you are implementing this for the first time, you will click on start load when you only want to allow initial load. You don't want to allow the replication. Okay, start load means only initial load is allowed. Real-time replication is not active. When you say start replication, what the start replication does is it will automatically do the initial load first, because replication knows that before I start the real-time replication, I need to do the initial load also. So this start replication will start with the load automatically and then the real-time replication. So start replication is replication plus load both. And then if you want to stop, so current situation is they are already running. So if I say stop, all my replications will be stopped. If I say suspend, again, all my replications would be stopped. If I say resume, whatever you suspended, those items you can resume. Okay, and you can see start replication without load. So if you go with this, it would be replication plus load. If you go with this, it is replication without load. Okay, I'm not sure about this. Normally we don't use this. Let's see what is start recording. No, it is not showing anything. So normally we don't use this. Loading and replication, these are the two important activities that we can do from here. And as I told you, just for your information purpose, not to be touched in your real-time project, not even in the same server that you are working, because otherwise others will get struggle. You can see trigger status is active. Trigger means what? As soon as the document is posted in the source system, it should be triggered to be replicated in the target system. So those triggers are active. So what exactly this technical guys do is they copy the standard delivered content for the replication objects. You can see these are the predefined load and replication objects. Okay, so you can see there are three tables, one for cost object, second for accounting document, and third for controlling document. And for each table, there are two transactions. One is initial load, second is real-time replication. So there are technical objects created for initial load, three technical objects for three tables, and three replication objects for three tables. So total, these are the 6 objects which are very important when it comes to initial load as well as real-time replication. So if you go to this object, click on display, it will tell you what exactly would be done in the background. So these are all the mappings and all, but completely technical. You don't need to worry, but just make sure that if your replication is not working or if your initial load is not working, at least you should come here and see whether this is green or red. If it is red, definitely your replication will not work or your initial load will not work based on the object that you are checking here. So for example, you found out that your real-time replication is not working for COBK table. Your controlling document is not getting replicated. You can come here in this object and verify if it is red or green. So you can see it is red. So although in our case it is working, this might be the reason the template that I'm showing you, this is not the right template which is being used in the background. So you have to check with your technical guy which template is being used in our case. Okay, so I'll show you in another way. Otherwise, if it is red, it will not work at all. So let me click on this and let me go to maybe application logs. No, data transfer monitor. Yes. So if I go to COBK and try to see the replication object, double click on this display. See here it is green. So instead of going through the standard pre-delivered templates, what you can also do is you can directly go to the data transfer monitor, double click on this, and it will automatically take you to the relevant object. Okay. So this is LTRC. Which things you should remember is you should remember that there is a mass transfer ID. Okay, there is something called as mass transfer ID. Within mass transfer ID, there is a configuration name, which is for central finance. So this has to be created by the technical guy. He has to create a mass transfer ID. He has to create a configuration name. And within the configuration name, you'll be able to see the different tables which needs to be replicated or needs to be loaded. So within these tables, there are some logging tables. You should know this. These are the logging tables. So at any point of time, if you want to see where exactly my documents are getting stuck, so you can come here and you can verify the logging tables. Okay, and then here you will be able to see the status. So currently replication is active. If you perform any replication and then if you want to see the logs or if you want to see whether it has been replicated or not, you can come here. You can see there is one failed here, AUFK. That is exactly what I told you. What I'm going to show you now is replication of internal orders. Okay, if I want to replicate the internal orders, I am getting the message. If I click here, see this is a technical error due to which all my cost objects which I'm trying to replicate, they are getting stuck in the logging table itself. They are not even going to the interface AIF monitor. This is because there is a technical error. It is not a functional or mapping error. It is a technical error which is causing this issue. Right? So this is just for the monitoring. Whenever you are working on the project, if you want to monitor, you can come here and you can see what is the status, whether it is replicated or not, or there are any kind of errors which are appearing here. Okay, so I'll now show you to replicate the cost object. Okay, but before that, let me take you to the configuration of that. So it is in the target system mapping. So for cost object mapping, In financial accounting, again in central finance, in the mapping folder for target system, we already understood the key mapping, we already understood the value mapping. And we also understood the cost object mapping previously, but now we will try to use this. So in this cost object mapping, there is something called as define the cost object mapping. Okay, and this works on the scenarios basis. Now, one question which was asked by some of the participant who is listening to these videos, why do we need a separate object for cost object mapping? Why it is not already covered? Like for example, the GLs, the cost centers, the profit centers, all these things are mapped via the key mapping. Then why not internal orders are also mapped via the key mapping? Why SAP has provided a separate cost object mapping for internal orders, production orders, and process orders only? Cost centers, profit centers are also the cost objects. For that, we are able to do it via key mapping. Then why internal orders, production orders needs a separate cost object mapping? That is the question. What do you think? I think I already answered this previously, but just wanted to repeat that. What do you think? Any idea? Anyone? We discussed this previously. There are two kind of objects, cost objects, short term, long term. Remember that? When I say long term, normally cost centers, profit centers, these are long term objects which the company will use throughout the years. But when it comes to the short term object, internal order, production order, process order, the life is very short. So the question is, do you want to transfer all the short term objects to the central finance? For each and every production order, are you going to transfer the lines? That is the question. So if I have a production order which I created in my source system, when you replicate the values related to this production order, do you want to capture each and every production order in the target system also? That is definitely not required. In my central finance system, I don't want to see the production order wise report because anyways, I don't have the PP component there. What I want to see is maybe you can show me everything in one product cost collector, or maybe you can map my production orders from the source system to one of the internal order in the target system, which means I don't want to go with that much level of detailing when it comes to the internal orders and production orders in the central finance system. When it comes to cost center and profit center, most of the time, yes, whatever cost centers we have in the source, maybe some amount little bit here or there, but most of the time same cost centers would be used in the target system also. But in case of internal orders, production orders, process orders, we don't want to capture that much minute level of information in the central finance. That is the reason SAP introduced cost object mapping, where you can define your own scenarios. Okay, so for example, I created this scenario, or you can also create your own scenario. Let me show you. So ZCF01-2, let's say this is my scenario which I'm creating. I'll just provide some description. What this scenario will do, this will create a table in the background. So Z table in the background. What exactly it will do? My source object. So whenever the data is coming from the source system, and if my source system is providing me the production order or internal order, I want to map to the internal order itself in my target system also. So which means whenever an internal order will come from the source, immediately system will create an internal order in the central finance system. And this is where you need to tell the system whether you want to create 1:1, which means one internal order is created. Do you want to create one internal order here? Or you want to create multiple internal orders can be assigned to the single central object. So you can go for N:1 or 1:1. So if you want to avoid too much detailing, there are 10 internal orders created in the source, but I don't want that much level of information. One internal order is enough for me. Then you will go for N:1. If you want detailed information of each and every internal order, then you'll go for one-to-one, right? And then you need to, this is not enough, you need to define the source characteristics and target characteristics, which means from your internal order table, see, this is your internal order table. In the internal order, when you try to create an internal order in the source or the target system, let's see what are the different fields which are captured. Okay, so if I go to internal order, which is transaction KO01, you can see here, system is asking me controlling area, system is asking me order type. If I provide this information, there is a business area, there is a plant, there is a profit center, responsible cost center, WBS, there are a lot of fields. So you need to tell the system which of these fields to be replicated. I can tell the system no need to copy the business area, keep the business area blank. No need to copy the plant, no need to copy the profit center. So it is up to you which fields you want to replicate. Whatever fields you want to replicate, you will come here and you will tell the system in the scenarios that these are the fields I want to capture. Order type, company code, business area, tax jurisdiction, and plant. Okay, and these fields in my source system are assigned to these fields in my target system. So order type, company code, business area, tax jurisdiction, and plant. When you say derive from the local, it will take the same values as it is available in the source system. If you want to derive, so my order type CF01 is assigned to order type CF03. In that case, that has to be taken care in the next activity. So the first activity is where you tell the system that what is my scenario, and then once your scenario is created, you will go for the mappings here. Okay, provide your scenario, the one that we just now created. Why it is not showing? Because we have not activated it. So you have to activate the scenario. You can see this activate indicator. So click on this activate and try to save, or maybe you can click on this activate button. Okay, so now scenario is activated, which means if you go to the mapping, F4, select this, execute. Sorry, there's a lot of errors in this system actually. So central finance, target, mapping, cost object mapping, and let's go to the mapping scenarios. Let me try the first one, which I created yesterday. It was working fine. Execute. Yeah, it is working fine. Maybe I need to check what I have done wrong in my second one that I created. So you can see here, you have to define what is your source system and these fields. So order type, company code, business area, tax jurisdiction, and plant. Same way in the target system, how you want to map it to. Okay, when you say n to 1, then whatever cost object should be created, it will go and reside in the same internal order in the target system. So based on this configuration, based on this particular configuration, system will perform the cost object mapping and it would be replicated. So let me try to create one cost object in my source system. Okay, this is my source system. You can see EPX. And here, if I try to create a new internal order, so KO01, so controlling area CF01, order type CF01, let's press enter, whatever description you want to provide, okay, and whatever fields you want to maintain. So you already told the system which fields will be considered in the mapping and which fields will not be considered in the mapping. Let me just try to save it. So I'm not entering the profit center, it is a warning, I'm just avoiding it. So this order number has been created, 60005730. Now, as I told you, if there is any technical error, it will not even go to the error interface. It will not even go to AIF interface. It will get stuck in that logging table itself. Okay, and that is exactly what is happening in case of internal orders because there is some technical issue. So if you go to table SE16N, okay, and for logging table related to cost objects, which is AUFK, if I try to execute, it will show us the internal order that I created just now. So I tried various different internal orders, but it is not allowing me to proceed further. The reason is this is getting stuck in the technical error itself. Once this technical error is solved, if there is any mapping related error, it will go to the AIF interface. Okay, first thing, this technical error needs to be resolved by the technical team. So if you are getting stuck, if you are finding any entries in this logging tables, you don't have any option but to go to the technical team and tell them why these values are getting stuck here. Clear?
Sure. And so just a question. So that basically the mapping you did, that extensive mapping for internal orders. So would that create actual internal order as well in the target system, or is only for? I'm not 100% understanding the purpose of this extensive mapping.
No, this is, you are right. This will create the cost object in the target system.
Or it will create as well.
Yes, yes. So there are three interfaces. Number one, FI document posting. Number two, CO document posting. Number three, whenever a cost object is created in the source system, it will be automatically created in the target system using this third mapping.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so this is how your AUFK table. AUFK table is nothing but internal order table will be replicated in the target system. So if anything wrong, it will get stuck here. Otherwise, once this error is resolved, you will be able to go to AIF interface. Okay, and you will be able to see, you will be able to monitor the way we are able to monitor our accounting and controlling documents. So you can see here this cost object replication. So although it is showing 19 entries, but these are very old entries, I'm not able to replicate the current postings here. You can see this 19 entries are very old, 30th of April 2020. After that, nothing has been replicated. So whatever internal orders we are creating now, those are getting stuck in that logging tables. But once that error is resolved, you will be able to see all those entries are coming here if there is any error in terms of mapping. If there is no mapping error, if the mapping is fine, it will just go and create the cost objects in your target system. So these are the three interfaces that are required from the replication point of view. Number one is FICO interface. Number two is secondary CO postings. Okay, and number three is cost objects. Okay, and this is exactly what is defined in LTRC. These are the three different type of objects. AUFK for internal orders or cost objects, you can say. This is for FICO documents and this is for controlling documents. Okay, so now I think replication part we have covered most of the scenarios. Maybe tomorrow what we need to do, tomorrow if you are fine we can meet and then we will discuss the initial load part. So I think that is the only important thing which is we are left with, initial load, and then the one session that we will be having, we will keep it in the next week itself. Maybe I'll give you some time to practice and come up with the doubts rather than just completing the session. So maybe after tomorrow's session, you can take maybe 1 week of time to try to replicate all the scenarios in the system. And the one session that we will have is related to period end accounting and whatever Q&A you got. If possible, we will try to cover some of the things related to period end accounting tomorrow itself. But otherwise, we will keep one session dedicatedly for that.
Kiran, one question. So
Yeah.
do you see most of the consolidation for all the SAP and non-SAP systems, CFIN will be the path forward with group reporting?
No, it is one step by step. So first is, as you know, even central finance itself is a very big project. So once you are in central finance, Vijay, some echo is coming. Can you just mute yourself? Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
So it will be done step by step. The first thing that you need to do is you need to move everything to the central finance.
Right.
Once everything is in the central finance, then you have to decide what is your priority. First priority is your group reporting, or first priority is your centralized cash management, or first priority is your disputes and collections management. So based on once the central finance is activated, you can activate those features independently on the central finance system.
Okay.
Yes.
But group reporting has a separate license, or it's available on CFIN
No,
directly?
it is a separate. It is completely separate, Vijay. Group reporting is a completely separate product.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Only
So
benefit
that is
is
an
if you
additional cost to the customer, right? CFIN.
I am not sure because it varies country to country, but yes,
Right.
because if you remember, group reporting is a new version of, you can say, BPC, and BPC
Right.
always has a license.
Correct. It's a separate license. Okay. Okay.
Right.
Thank you. And what is the areas in period accounting for CFIN that you're going to cover tomorrow, right? You said?
It's either tomorrow or in the coming session.
Okay. Thank you.
So tomorrow we will keep our session on the initial load. If time permits, we will talk about period end accounting. If not, we will have one or two sessions. It depends. Let's see tomorrow where exactly we are. If required, we will have two more sessions in next week. Otherwise, if we are able to cover some part of period end accounting tomorrow itself, then we will just keep 1 week of break and then we will meet for Q&A.
So one more question. Have you seen accrual engine being used by other clients in S4 in 1909?
Yes, there are few customers who are using it, accrual engine also, but again, that is also something which comes under the license. I'm not sure. Let me check and confirm.
Okay, thank you.
Accrual engine, I don't think there is any separate license, but
Right.
there are few companies who are using it.
Okay, thanks.
Kim, how long the system access will be remain with us?
It would be for 1 month, Adam. So starting from the date you got the access, it would be remain for 1 month.
Oh, we have to hurry up.
See, you should not. That is the reason you should not, because once you keep it like, okay, we will do it, it will never happen. So you should start practicing now itself. And second thing, as I told you, if you are preparing or if you are planning for certification exam, this is the right time. So maybe after our session on Q&A, what I will also do is, sorry, I forgot to tell you that. So I will also conduct one of your exam, which would be very much similar to the SAP exam which SAP conducts. Okay, and you will get a lot of confidence once you go through that exam. And if you are planning, I think maybe in another 10 days, you need to write the exam. You are very fresh in your mind, all the concepts and all. It would be very simpler if you want to go for that particular exam.
Okay.
Because if you take that approach that, okay, we will see later on, then it is never going to happen. The practice also and the certification. Like certification, I will not say it is mandatory part, but practice is definitely something which you should do now itself.
Yeah, listening to you seems to be very easy, everything.
Okay then, so any questions before we close today?
I'm good, thank you. Okay. Good night. Yeah.
Okay, thank you all. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Vikram. Thank you.
Bye.